when I say asynchronous Apex, uh, you can initiate the process now, but it will execute after some time whenever the system resources are available. Right? Even if it is a cloud system, the resources should be available. Resource in the sense the memory allocation, the processor, and all this. When the system is available, it will execute in a backend. So it will not interfere with the user actions. So it will be initiated by user, but the outcome will come little later, which will not inline with the current user session. So we have a concept called Apex. Generally, Apex, I mean asynchronous Apex, we use like jobs to run a multiple data. I mean, n number of data you wanted to process, or you wanted to get a collective information from other systems, or if you want to update your records in a way that in every summarizer reports. If you want to do these type of calculations or these type of schedule system maintenance, then we'll be choosing our asynchronous Apex. The main concern we need to look into Apex jobs is nothing but schedule Apex and batchable Apex. So we'll see a batchable schedule Apex is something like which will schedule the batchable Apex. It's not something like schedule Apex will have a content, but it just initiates, it just creates a time frame that when the batches need to execute. This is how we can schedule. Like every day we need to run, or every day morning 5 o'clock, or every day two times, or every alternative day. So you can define your con trigger functions. So first we'll see about batch Apex. First we'll see about batch Apex. So we can have a batch Apex in the context of either public or either global. It should not be private anyway. And batch Apex will comes with three different functions, not three different functions. If I say function, it's kind of a method. First we'll say start method. Next we have execute method, and third one is finish method. So the start method will always be a query locator. Query locator. We have another interface called iterator, but we'll see a first example in the concept of query locator. So what query locator will do? You will be mentioning your SOQL query in the form of string. So whenever system run, the start method will execute for a first time. It will execute only one time, that too starting of Apex. I mean batch Apex. So it will return a query, and execute method will process the data. Execute method, it will execute batch by batch. If I say batch by batch, my total query locator, it resulted 1,000 records. My batch size, if I say my batch size is 10, how many batches I will get totally? 100, right? So now the execute method will execute 100 times of the query locator. Instead of processing 1,000 records, you can process batch chunk by chunk. If I have 1,000, if I mention like 1,000, 100, then it would be like 100 batch. If I mention 100, then batches will be 10. So execute method will execute 10 times. Total number of records divided by the number of batch size, then it will be the execute method. So here we need to remember one thing. Let's say I'm running 10 batches. In 10 batches, any one of the batch got failed. It doesn't mean that all 9 batches will fail. It will fail only that batch which is got error. The other 9 batches will get committed successfully. So there is no rollback function if anything goes wrong in the batch Apex. With this statement, we need to handle, if anything goes wrong, we need to handle those data also. It's not something like batch will take care. It's your responsibility to handle that errors. So that either you can send an email, or either you can initiate those records in the next batch, but something you need to handle those changes. But batch method will not have a self-sustain to execute that. After executing everything, finish method will execute at last. Finish method will execute after all batches. If it executed all 10 batches, the finish method will give you a final results. It's just a conclusion. It will say saying that, hey, I am finished. You wanted to process something else, you can have an implementation logic even in finish method. Either you can call another batch Apex from the finish method. You can do this as the three levels. This is called serializing your batches. Okay. So how many methods we have? Start method, execute method, and finish method. Now we need to implement an interface called, database dot batchable. We need to use an interface called database dot batchable. This is the interface that you will be using while writing a batch Apex. So let's say how it will be. If I say interface can be implemented. Implements database dot batchable. So now we are running on a schedule, S object, so we can mention S object. Okay. As soon as I mention, now this is what done. Now we can define our methods. What is the method that we are talking about? Public database dot query locator. This is the return type, and method is start. Method is start method. I said right, we have a start method. In start method, there is a parameter called database dot batchable context. Batchable context. Generally, we'll say always will always represents like BC, but we don't do anything with batchable content. The system will understand. And what is the second method we have? Public and execute method always return type is void. Execute method always return type is void. Remember. Now again, here also we have database.batchable context as a first parameter. Database.batchable context as a first parameter. And the second parameter is list of objects that you are querying of. Here I am querying my account object. This is what I am expecting. List of account, ASCC list. Okay. Now this is my execute method syntax. And final method is public. Even for a final method, it is public void exe execute, spelling correct, right? Executes. And everywhere the common parameter is database.batchable context, right? Database.batchable context. Why we are doing this? And here system will say whether it is executed or not. These are the three methods, and you need to remember these implementation. If you are planning to write any batch Apex, you should have an implementation called database.batchable with an S object, and you should have another start method which is a query locator. Here I am not returning anything. Let me say return null, and this is the syntax. And you can have an execute method with batchable context and list of records which is queried. You don't want to call this method explicitly. The system will handle these changes. Let me put a query here. String query equal to select ID from account, right? So what I can select ID from account, this description return null. Now I'll say instead of null, all you need to use database dot query locator. Database dot query database dot get query locator. Sorry. Query locator is a function. Get query locator is a array. Get query locator, and you will be passing your query. So what happens? The return type is database.query locator, and you are passing your query. Now imagine that whatever query you are doing, you will get data in the form of account list in execute method. This is how the interface works. Now what we can do for, I'll just update like account record column ACC list record dot description equal to string dot value of system dot now is the current date and time it will return plus batch apex update so I can update my ACC list. I can update my ACC list. What error you are getting here? Implementing, right? What did it say? Okay, here I need to say finish. Sorry. Even if you don't implement, it will give an error saying that, let's say, I didn't implemented all this. Okay, I didn't implemented all this. Save. Now you'll get an error saying that start database.patchable context execute database. So you can see the error itself. It is showing that you should you must and should you have to implement these changes. Okay, now I implemented. So this will execute only one time. System.debug batch updated. Now the only difference is something new that you can call here. Let me go to accounts first. Accounts. Setup. Apex jobs. There is a concept called Apex jobs. You can track how many batches is successful, how many batches are not successful. For now, we don't have any batch. The calling statement for this is quite little different. The calling statement for this is little different. Control command E. So you have to create an object equal to new object, right? And then you need to execute database dot execute batch and you need to pass your batchable object. That's it. Once you pass, now there is a possibility. Let's say I'm executing this. I'll open one account. Also go refresh. Now you can see how many batches it have totally 1 and number of batches processed 1. Now successful is also 1 there. Let me see my record details, how it got it. Details, description, you can see it was executed now and updated by a batchable apex. Now what's the time? 25 and 7:48. Now let's say query locator, select ID, select count from account. Now if this is my query, how many records I have? 20 records. Now we need to remember one thing, the default batch size, if you don't mention any size, the default batch size is 200. So if you want to mention your custom batch size, you can mention 1. If I mention 1 per transaction, means how many transactions I will get? Totally 20 transactions, right? 20 is the total number of records and we are processing 1 record at a time. It means that 20 divided by 1. So total number of batches is 20. Let me execute. Here the time you can see 7:48, 57 seconds. So now I initiated. How many batches you will get? Total batches is 20. Number of records divided by total number. total number of batches, 20 records. So what's the time we had here? 57 seconds, 48 minutes. Details 50, 45. So you understand, if you want to pass your custom, if you want to pass your custom size, then this is how you will be passing. Comma, number of batches. Either you can put even 1000, either you can put even 2000. I recommend 2000 is the maximum number that you can put. More than 2000 you can't put. The reason behind, one DML operations you can perform only within 2000 records. More than 2000 records you can't perform either update, delete or insert. Right? There is a limitations in the system. So 2000 is a maximum size limit that you can think of. But even I recommend not to go even 200. 1000 is the maximum limit and the best way that you can able to handle your batch affixes. Clear? Any doubt on this? So I'm trying to say, we need to, whenever you are writing your batchable apex, you need to implement an interface called database.batchable with a type S object in it. This is the standard that there is no changes in the here. Okay, and you have a query locator. We have two types. One is iterator, and we have iterator, and we also have execute method, finish method. Now we are thinking about database query locator. We have a parameter called database.batchable context BC, and you can pass your query in the form of string, and you can return, instead of database.query, you need to return it as a database.getQuery locator. Once it get written, the system will handle all these changes, which method should call first and which is next. And again, in the update method, whatever you perform any DML operation, it should go within the execute method. Execute method will run more than one time in an Apex job. The reason behind, based on your batch size and based on number of total records, the batch size will get splitted. Like execute method will also split into multiple. Might be a chance of one or might be a chance of more than one. And finish method will execute only one time in entire batch job, that too on completion of all the batch process. Clear?